Homo sapiens, unlike any other species on planet Earth, enjoy traveling for exploration, adventure, work, and a little R&R. After more than 2 years in captivity, millions are returning to their old traditions of jet-setting around the globe. And it's up to marketing professionals like these to connect travelers with their destinations. Here we find a rare species of marketer preparing for the daunting task of navigating the 2022 travel season. Their first objective is to find an edge over their competitors in advertising. However, even after hours of meticulous research, this goal proves immensely difficult, as their prey, or rather their target audience, remains elusive. Frustrated, they must form a new strategy, and they retreat to a safe distance to reassess the situation.
Microsoft Advertising.
The download. The download.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Download episode 14, presented by Microsoft Advertising. I'm Jennifer Solomon-Baum, coming to you from the Andaz Hotel in West Hollywood. We're in the Panorama Suite, high above the city of Los Angeles. And why are we here, you ask? Well, because this is our travel episode. The summer travel season is here, and we have a great show coming for you. Coming up, in our client spotlight, we're delighted to welcome Enrique Beltranena, the CEO of Volaris airline, a low-cost carrier that became the #1 airline in Mexico during the pandemic. And they did it while putting their people and the planet first. We're launching a brand new segment for you called ReThink Tank, where we look at unconventional thinking, an emerging topic in the world of marketing. We'll hear from Chrissie Hanson, Global Chief Strategy Officer at OMD. Chrissie is an expert on the subject of attention. We hear so much about the attention economy, but what does that really mean for marketers? Chrissie is here with the knowledge. All of this and a very fun product pop-up featuring product expert Cristiano Ventura. But first, here's your colleague Liam McKessy in Dublin with this month's insights.
If you're thinking about traveling soon, you're not alone. Over half of adults in the US plan to travel in the next month. As the travel industry makes its way back to a state we would call normal, there is a collective backlog of wanderlust and lots of people eager to travel again. This excitement is mutually shared by both consumers and brands in the space. While 2020 was a turbulent year for travel, there was already a significant recovery in 2021. According to Focusrite, the US saw $272 billion in bookings for the year, and projections for 2022 are expected to exceed last year's figure, bringing the travel industry to dizzying new heights. The way we travel has gone through some major changes in the last year. Travel companies have put new safeguards in place, from new cleaning policies to touchless interactions, to protect guests as well as workers. At the same time, consumers have also developed new travel habits. The way they research, plan, and actually go about their travels is quite different from how it used to be. Consider the fact that roughly half of the global workforce now has the option to work at least partially remotely. According to our recent commissioned study conducted by Forrester Consulting, in multiple countries in the Americas, Europe, and Asia, 49% of survey respondents say they work from home. This means the tether of geography is falling away, along with the expectation for workers to show up in the office each day. This major shift has led to travellers taking much longer, extended trips, where they can explore new cities while working remotely. This trend has been booming over the past 2 years and has even evolved into a new lifestyle, a persona called a digital nomad. What is a digital nomad, you ask? These are location-independent individuals who love adventure, value flexibility, and make their living working online. And this cohort is contributing to local economies in far-flung locations, as well as the sharing and digital economies of an itinerant life. For example, digital nomads made up a big chunk of the millions of people that booked month-long or longer Airbnb stays in 2021. According to NPR, this segment made up 20% of the bookings for Airbnb in the second half of last year. Beyond lodging in long-term rental homes and hotels, Digital nomads can also be found living and working in vans or campers as they seek adventure in between meetings. This blending of work and leisure has also made it into the daily habits of folks working from home or even the office. Our research shows that people are increasingly multitasking between business and pleasure during the day, with some of that pleasure coming in the form of online shopping. This trend, known as the Workday Consumer, was outlined in more detail in our last episode, and it's also good news for travel companies. One of the key findings from the research is that 36% of consumers are searching for trips and getaways during traditional business hours, and 32% of these searches end up in a purchase. This trend is led by Italians at 44%, followed by Spaniards 42%, and French 38%. Rounding out this list of Workday travel shoppers are Canadians, Dutch, and Australian consumers. As we noted in last season's travel episode,
that wanderlust you might be feeling right now is actually in your DNA.
With this insatiable appetite to explore and the warmer summer months fast upon us, we can expect a strong travel season ahead of us. So, whether you're looking to connect with digital nomads out in the wild, or Workday consumers itching to travel, now is a good time to market to these audiences as they hit the open road, sky, or anywhere in between.
Attention is the most important thought currency of the 21st century. It is finite, it is valuable. We talk about how we hold it, we seek it, we crave it, we demand it. The reason it is so important in everything we do is that it is a strategic lever for growth. The research we've conducted has shown that attention is related to something called mental availability, which is the likelihood that your brand comes to mind in any purchase occasion. And when you understand that, the impetus for knowing how to wield it in media, marketing and advertising becomes more urgent. We came to the topic of attention as part of our need to answer, how do we operationalize empathy planning to drive better business outcomes? And the way we do that is through the C's of empathy. It's your content, your contact, right? So that's your frequency, your culture, and your context. I sometimes am asked, is attention important for media and creative? And I would say 100%. Today with measurement, we're able to know when someone is actually looking at an ad. And why is that important for attention? Once you understand where someone is directing their focus, right, you're truly able to see the impact of that. And in that way, the greater impact means that your brand is really resonating, right? That you are likely to choose it. And therefore, for growth, it becomes a critical component. We've always been in the business of attention, right? In advertising. I think when we buy the right-hand page, when we look at position and break, so we have a natural understanding of its importance. What we have today with the advances in measurement means that I can pretty accurately, if I use gaze models, see where are you putting that attention. And that means I know if something isn't resonating. So I would know in markets where I'm willing to look at, for example, ethnicity level data, I could say, that's interesting. Is my messaging around a particular purpose or an initiative or a product that might be supporting or helping a particular audience at a economic requirement, is it connecting with them, right? And I think if we say, I'm going to commit to doing that well, then you are producing work, and I think over time, products that make our world better. Today, everyone wants attention, right? There is this fight that's already being played out. My passion, my mission, is to ensure that this race for attention is done in a way that ultimately results in a net positive attention ecosystem. That we are never harvesting attention, that we're never on a pursuit to have more and more of it, but rather that we understand the attention requirement at a brand level, at an audience level. Because when we do that, we accept that what we're seeking to do is only have as much attention as is required for the task. The topic of attention in media and marketing is essential for every advertiser and business leader to at least understand. We know that it is a driver of strategic growth, but the space is being developed as the data gets stronger and richer. And so I have some clients where I make sure that they understand it, but because of their particular geographical location and dispersion, they don't apply it today, but they are completely informed on it. So that is the advice I would give to business leaders. Know what this topic is and know how you could wield it to drive your business forward.
Thanks to Chrissie for that fascinating insight. In a world where very often your customers are not in market when they encounter your brand, it's crucial for marketers to understand mental availability and how to craft better, more empathetic brand experiences. Okay, time now for our client spotlight. We went to Mexico City recently and sat down with Enrique Beltranena. He's the CEO of Volaris Airlines. Volaris is a low-cost carrier, but a very unusual one. Sustainability is a key part of their success, with one of the cleanest aircraft fleets in the entire world. And Volaris didn't just survive the pandemic, they thrived. One of the few airlines worldwide to return to profitability early last year. Most importantly, they understand that when you give people access to travel, it empowers them. Volaris Airlines is in our client spotlight. Let's take a look.
Today, after the pandemic, we operate more than 42% of our routes only competing versus the buses. A guy that takes a bus is a very simple guy. It's a very simple mind. I mean, he goes to the bus terminal, purchases a ticket, and steps into a bus. Simplicity is the essence of the entire process, these 3 billion passengers. So you want to compete with that. The first thing has to be your systems have to be simple and clear. 3 years ago, our most important pillar to sell and distribute was the web page. And I used to say we had to be careful in how much share of our distribution system we were giving to kayak or online travel agencies. When I came to Mexico 16 years ago, there were more than 4,600 IATA agencies in the country. Today, we have less than 600 IATA agencies in the country. That tells you the change that we had, going from going to purchase a ticket in an establishment to going and purchase on the web. In Spanish, our mission says, con la mejor gente y a bajo costo hacemos que más personas viajen bien. That means in English, with the best people. We are the lowest cost operator in the continent, but we have the best people, and we don't spare money on having the best people in the right job. For Volaris and for the board of directors and the company, I mean, we always said that we are here to build the communities where we work. If you look at the pillars of the company, I mean, we talk about it has to be sustainable. Our profits have to be sustainable so we can continue growing the company. It has to be sustainable from the world perspective in taking care of our environment. So it's not that we will go out and do this massive transportation in a way where we are killing the climate, okay? It has to be sustainable. Changing the engines in order to reduce fuel burn, CO2 emissions, noise emissions, and 18% reduction of cost because of fuel burn. I don't think that the fossil fuels are going to be there at the cost they need to be in the next 10, 15 years, and we'll probably jump the fossil era into batteries or things like that in the aviation industry. It has to be sustainable from the employee perspective. I cannot conceive Volaris without what I call the family, okay? And it's important why I call it the family. First, I don't like to call them employees, I call them ambassadors, because they represent the brand. It's not just about mission and vision, it's about what it means to you as a person to work in a company. When the pandemic started, we were prepared. We had tools to work outside of the company, and we had a way of managing the tools. The day we moved out, on March 26, of 2019, this company had been testing the systems with Microsoft to operate on a remote way. The bottom line is Microsoft solutions were fundamental for us and were, I would say, the edge of the stone to really bring us back and accelerate our productivity and accelerate the way we recovered, which is probably the best recovery airline in the world. One of the reasons this company was capitalized at the beginning by the World Bank is because it was going to hit populations that had not access to something which is really important. Traveling, for your information, is the one single mechanism that converts a person into a middle class. And growing the middle class in an emerging market is fundamental. Marketing changes are not about doing big changes in the curves, but doing them slowly and penetrating in a nice way. We started being a company that was selling fares, I would say low price fares, but when we really were able to spin off, and was when we decided to start unbundling the price. And unbundling the price gave us a very low fare in the first part of the equation, and then we allowed the customers to select their ancillaries. Today, that represents more than 43% of our total revenues. And the people are supposed to pay less than what they think they should be paying, but it has to be a great trip for them.
Okay, time now for our product pop-up with our travel expert, Cristiano Ventura. We're delighted to have him on set. Welcome, Cristiano. Okay, what are you wearing?
You see, I really wanted to learn how to snowboard whilst I was here, so I started looking for tours and activities in California. It was overwhelming. So I got plenty of offers and prices and lots of blue links. And I clicked on one and I found what I thought was the perfect offer. Do you mind?
Yes, please. Okay, tell me what happened then.
So I met my instructor, Steven, and he's an instructor of surfboard.
Wait, what? How did that happen?
I used a different search engine than Bing, which obviously did not clearly understand what was the full intent of my search. And those blue links are so limited in the information you can find. You need to click on several of them, then you need to go to our website, you need to check the price, the availability, and if you want to read reviews, which are important, you have to go to yet another website.
But isn't that how the internet works, where you just click on pages and pages of blue links and more blue links?
Actually, not at all. Blue links are becoming more and more a vestige of the past. Now there's much more that you can do straight from the search results page these days. At Microsoft Advertising, we've been working on new solutions for vertical industries like travel. Last year, we were the first to bring to market tours and activities ads for the growing segment of travel experiences. These intent-driven, feed-based ad types are visually prominent, engaging premium placement, which are triggered where people are looking for activities in a particular location of a certain type. And by understanding the intent of our customers, we are able to identify key pieces of information which are then delivered through the new ad format, like images, the type of tour or activities, and even reviews, which again we know are very valuable when making a purchase.
Beautiful format, but is that difficult to implement?
Actually, not at all. The richness of content can be delivered using feeds, and advertisers can source all the elements displayed in the ad formats from the existing digital catalogs, and that saves them time.
How is that performing so far?
It's going great. A customer that has been using tours and activities ads has seen 10% click lift and a 36% lower CPA.
That's fantastic. So what's next?
We are growing our portfolio of vertical ads for the travel industry. For lodging, we already have hotel price ads and property promotion ads. Personally, I'm going to use the newest of them all, cruise ads for cruises.
How exciting. So, are you going on a cruise?
I am. Let's hope that I don't get on the wrong ship this time.
Yeah, good luck. Okay, that's going to wrap up our travel episode here on The Download from the Panorama Suite at the Andaz Hotel in West Hollywood. Special thanks to our guests Enrique Beltranena from Volaris and Chrissie Hanson of OMD. And thanks to all of you for watching. Please like the video, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Jennifer Solomon-Baum, and from everyone here at Microsoft Advertising, Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.